What is happening, guys? This is Jose Cañas, and I am super pumped today because do you want to know how to start building your credit? Well, this video is actually going to give you all the tips and tricks, the things I've learned, the things that I have implemented with my wife's charity for us to build our credit and actually get on that journey of financial freedom. So if you watch until the end, you're actually going to get a lot of value, and then you're going to know how to start building your credit from the ground up. So let's just get started. Don't forget to click on that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. It'll help me keep spreading this word to more people. But let's just jump into it, guys. I'm super pumped because credit is such an important aspect of our lives. You know, you need credit in order to buy a house, maybe to buy a car, maybe to invest in real estate, and so many other things, okay? Because without credit, you're gonna have a very, very difficult time getting money from lenders. And unless you pay cash for everything or you have a large amount of cash. And why would you want to use cash if you have the ability to leverage other people's monies and actually use that cash for something else? Maybe you can invest in something else. So credit is something that's extremely valuable, and if you're looking to increase your credit score, this video is actually going to share that with you. So let's jump into it, guys. So the first thing that I'm going to say is, if you don't have a credit card, I'm actually going to encourage you to have at least 2 to 3 credit cards. Open 3 credit cards from a big bank, from a big lender. I'm not talking about the credit cards from, JCPenney that offers you at the cash register, or the credit cards that you get at a department store just so that you can get discounts. I want you to get a credit card from a big lender. Okay, so you can find those online. You can Google them. You can find a big lender there and start building your credit that way. But when you get a credit card, this is very important for you to start implementing, and it's this: you have to keep your balances low. So you gotta watch your credit utilization. And if you don't know what your credit utilization is, it's the amount of money that you have used compared to the amount of money that's available to you. And the good amount for you to shoot for is to keep your credit utilization at 10% or below. That's the best way for you to actually build a good credit score. So let me give you an example. Let's say you have a $2,000 credit card, and you have these $2,000 in your credit card that you can use, so you have $2,000 of line of credit. Now, if you go out there and buy something and spend $1,000 out of the $2,000, you've used 50% of your money. That means your credit utilization right now is at 50%. That's too high. You gotta make sure you have it low. So you spend at least 10%, $200 of your $2,000 credit line, and then pay it off at the end of the month or when the bill comes. That way you have a good payment history, which actually helps me also build credit, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But why is credit utilization so important? Well, it's important because it actually composes 30% of your FICO score. So 30% is actually your credit utilization. If you have your credit utilization too high, if you're spending, if you have a 50%, if you have it at 70, 80, 90% of your credit utilization, or even 99%, that's not gonna help you at all. Your credit is gonna go down. So make sure you keep it at 10%. Very, very important, okay? Now, the second thing I'm gonna say, and I think this is common sense, but it's very important, it's actually pay your bills on time. When you pay your bills on time, this actually shows the lenders that you have the ability to, be credit worthy, that they can lend you money, that they can give you money, and you're gonna pay them. And payment history, actually, it's more than your credit utilization. It composes about 35% of your FICO score. So just make sure that you're making your bills on time, that you're setting up a budget. If you're having trouble paying your bills, make sure you set up a budget. And if you haven't watched my video when I talked about how to set up a budget, I'm gonna leave a description in the link. The link is gonna be below in the description, so make sure that you watch that if you are working on your budget. But again, make sure that you are making your budget and that you are making your payments on time, that you keep that utilization low, and that your payment history is growing and you are making all those payments on time. Now, if you've made mistakes in the past, make sure that don't live in the past. Make sure that you leave those behind, but make sure that now you start making your payments, because the longer the oldest the lack of payment are, the least important they become on your score. So make sure that you do that. All right. So third thing I want to say, and this is also very important because a lot of times people don't understand this concept, and it is avoid hard inquiries. And if you don't know what an inquiry is, inquiries are when someone has the legal authorization to check your credit, to see your credit and see where you're at, to see your balances, to see where your score is. And I want you to avoid as many hard inquiries as you can, okay? One example, I remember that when I was in college, I was a broke college student. I went to JCPenney, and I think I was buying something. I don't exactly remember what else, everything I was buying, but I do remember the specific occasion where I went to the cashier, and the cashier asked me directly, like, hey, do you want, I think it was like 25 or something like that, 25% off if you apply for this card, JCPenney card. I said, sure, why not? But here's the thing, the one thing I didn't know and they didn't tell me was that this was actually gonna affect my credit by putting, a hard inquiry on my credit. So avoid people that want you to, check, that wanna check their credit. Avoid those things, like department stores, they're very, very common for doing things like that. Another thing that I remember, and it's like, so here's the thing, you have the hard inquiries and you also have soft inquiries. Soft inquiries are when people actually see your credit, but it doesn't affect you. So when you look at, when you get things in the mail, for instance, you get like pre-approval letters from lenders, they've been able to see your credit without affecting your credit. So when you are able to see your credit, you actually have the ability to see where you're at. So one thing that I was doing, I went to college here in the US, another story I have. So I went to college here, I took on a loan, a private loan, which had a really high interest because I didn't have credit and I was a foreign student. And when I graduated, like a year or two later, I was able to refinance this loan. And when I refinanced this loan, before I actually allowed someone to look at my credit, like in a hard inquiry, I was able to shop around. I was looking for the best APR that was available, and I was doing soft inquiries on my credit. So I think I looked at about like 4 or 5 different lenders to see what they were able to give me, and I chose the one that gave me the best rate. So that was something that was super interesting and super cool. So if you're looking to maybe apply for a refinancing loan on your student loans, or maybe you're looking to refinance your house, make sure that you do those soft inquiries, get those pre-approvals, and understand first before you actually commit in doing something. So because hard inquiries actually will affect your credit, and a lot of us don't know about that. So that's very important. Again, keep your balances low, 10% of your income, not 10% of your income, 10% of your credit utilization. Make sure that you are setting up a budget, paying your bills on time, and also, finally, I want you to avoid hard inquiries as much as possible. So that's the one thing. And then lastly, I think this is worth mentioning, is stay disciplined. I always talk about the importance of being disciplined, of being diligent, of waiting for things that are worth fighting for. So like your credit is something that's worth fighting for. So make sure that you know that it's gonna take a little bit of time. It's gonna be a little rough sometimes because it's not gonna happen overnight. Okay, it's not gonna, if you start today, it's not gonna happen tomorrow. You're gonna wake up and you're gonna have like a 700, 800 credit score. It's not gonna happen like that. It's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some patience. It's gonna take some discipline. So make sure that you stay disciplined on those aspects. Don't give up. You're consistent. Use your credit wisely. Don't spend in things that are gonna ruin your credit. And make sure that you stay disciplined. Seriously, I cannot emphasize this enough because discipline will pay off if you wait, and it is worth waiting for. Thanks again, guys. And thanks again for being here. It is a privilege to be able to share my experience with you, and I hope that this video was valuable. And if it was, please share it with somebody else that needs it. And don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, and also click on that little bell, the notifications. You actually will get notified every time a video comes out if you see value out of this. So thanks again, guys. Take care and see you next video. Thanks.